Okay, so far in Photoshop we've really learned how to work with layers, but what we really want to do is work on pixels, right? Manipulate individual things within the layers so that we can start compositing and things like that. So this video is going to be about, first of all, knockout. And to knock out something means to take, say, a full image like this and separate it from the rest of the pixels. So if you look in your tools, whoops, you'll see right here the quick selection tool. And this is going to be our easiest way. So once we have it selected, all we have to simply do is really just kind of start drawing over what we want to knock out. And you see here a selection being made. And we generally call these the marching ants. When you see this selection happening, whatever's inside this selection, it'll be surrounded by these marching ants. And as I click, it keeps adding to this selection. Now there may be some time where, say like right here, let's look at, we have this right here, and it's inside of a selection, and it might be a little hard to tell on this video, but I can take away from a selection. So if I hold down the Option key, and I'm going to click on the blue, see, now what I've done is I've taken away this blue part. And right now we're just going to really quick go through and make a very rough selection of pretty much what we want. So selections have to happen in part. So here I am, and I've got pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I've got a decent selection. And now I'm going to go ahead and see, when you're in the selection tool, you have the select and mask button. It's also would appear right here, select and mask, but let's just click this button. And here we have, we start to see what we were doing. Right now there's nothing like selected, and usually you'll probably start at this onion skin view. And you'll see that I can kind of turn the part that's not selected on and off with transparency here to get a good sense of what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at a, so I can still see what's going on, because we're going to need to refine it. So if you notice, I missed this this beak of the penguin, right? So I have this tool right here, which is pretty much the same tool we were just using. I can go in and try to draw over and find things. If I want to try to start erasing things, and I can lower the transparency or up the transparency and see what's going on. And you're going to see these things. There's going to be parts where everything can't be instant magic on the computer, right? Where you're going to have to do a little work on your own. And now there are some other tools in these, but I'm mostly not going to have you use them. I'm going to let you just use this tool right here. But to look at these views here, we can see what's going on, right? We can see it on black, and then that makes certain things jump out, right? So I'll go ahead and hold down Option just like I did before, and start getting rid of this stuff here. Ooh, it's doing a real bad job there. It's trying hard, but it's messing it up a little bit. There are a lot of these things right here. I'm going to recommend you mostly stay away from these for right now. But here we can look, we can see it on white too. You know, we just start seeing the differences of how we knocked it out. Right on black, we can see what's going on, and then we can, if we look at it and Command plus, right, we start seeing, wow, it's really kind of a rough. You can see this fringing here, right? So these are things that we don't want when we're knocking out. We don't want fringing. See the way it gets really light at the edge? That's pretty ugly. So these are all things that we need to take care of in the process here. Right, so I'm going to try to draw back in some of this penguin, but see, it's just the edges are just too not defined enough that the computer can automatically do it, and you're going to need to do it yourself. So I'll try to still get as much out as I can, and the last most important thing you need to know here is then how are we going to output this. If we output this to a selection, then we have to handle doing something else with it. If we made it into a new layer, it would basically just erase all those things. But you see, we're still not perfect, so we don't want to do this. What we're going to want to pick is layer mask. You could also do new layer with a layer mask. It really doesn't matter, but let's just select layer mask and hit OK. And what you see now is we still have all of the image, but we have this new thing over here. And I'm going to stop this video and make a next video for layer masks.